Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Knick-Knack, hanging out with you guys today from deep inside of the archive room of the Plastic Planet. You know, one thing about this channel, I really do try to kind of keep it real for you guys. Life happens, and I kind of try to keep you guys in the loop of the ebb and flows of my life, particularly how it relates to my ability to collect. Well, recently I've kind of hit yet another snag in my personal finances that afford me the ability to go out and, buy a bunch of shit. Now, granted, I did recently pick up this awesome 1-Up Pac-Man machine, which I just reviewed, and you can check it out by clicking on that card right there. I did pick that up recently, but that was purchased with birthday money from my beloved mother. So thanks, Mom. That's what you got me. So awesome. 2 thumbs up. But yeah, other than that, I am at a little bit of a lack of fundage right now. I recently had a very large auto repair that cost me $1,600, and that really sucked. But hey, you gotta be able to drive to work, right? You gotta be able to drive to work to make money to go out and buy collectibles. So that's kind of how the ebb and flow of these things work sometimes. So right now I'm a little sparse in the pocketbook, particularly with the holidays coming up and whatnot. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm incredibly thankful for what I do have. So tonight, rather than showing off anything new, which I don't have to show off, I'm gonna go way back. I mean, go way back in Doc Brown's DeLorean to show you guys some of the things that really got me started as a collector. These are my top 5 most favorite nostalgic pieces that I still happen to own. Alright guys, this is gonna be fun. Let's do it. Top 5 most nostalgic pieces coming right at you right now.
Knick-Knack's Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knick-Knack!
Alrighty, coming in at number 5 on my top 5 most nostalgic pieces that I still own is my Kenner AT-AT Walker that I got way back, I think in 1983 or 1984. I'm not certain. Nevertheless, I got it as part of the Return of the Jedi packaging when I got it. As you can see, it's been well loved. Like most people's AT-AT Walkers, it is missing one of the chin guns. And you know what? I have not seen if this thing works in over 30 years. But tonight, I went out and got some D batteries. D as in dumbass, because no one uses these damn things anymore for anything. But I went out and got 2 D batteries, and we're gonna see right here, right now, if this thing works. I mean, this is completely. I have not tested this yet. This is completely organic. I like to keep things as organic here on the Plastic Planet as E. coli infested lettuce, because that's how I roll here. So let's check it out right now. Let's load these up and see if this thing still works. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Let's do it. Alrighty, but first let's take a little bit of an up-close look at this beauty. Yeah, it is still in absolute fantastic condition. All the decals are original, except for this piece right here. I will admit, a few years ago I went out and got a reproduction label for this piece right here, which actually, honestly, hasn't held up very well. But I did that probably about 10 years ago. I have been contemplating getting a reproduction chin gun for it, just to complete it. Haven't pulled the trigger on that. As you can see, this is definitely original. It's very yellowed. It's not very transparent anymore. Nevertheless, here it is, looking really good. Cockpit still looks good. Oh, look at that. Still got my General Veers and my AT-AT driver in there. That's pretty damn awesome. Alrighty, let's pop open the back hatch here. And then wasn't this nice back in the day? No screws, nothing. I just pull this out, and there is... shit. There is the old battery compartment right there. Looking actually... You know what? It's actually looking pretty clean. The connectors are looking really clean. There's not any kind of... Doesn't look like from here there's any kind of battery acid residue on there. So yeah, let's see if this thing still works. Keep it from falling over. Alrighty, so here's my 2 D batteries. Let's go ahead and load this puppy up. I can do this while holding the camera, and I hope I'm not making everyone seasick. Why? Because I'm just holding the phone here doing this. I hope I'm not breathing all heavy like I'm about to have a heart attack. Alrighty, batteries are in. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. I got the button right there. Check it out, the buttons on the back lever, which was always kind of a nice, neat design. Very play friendly in my opinion. Alright, let's check it out. Oh, I hope so. Moment of truth. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Did I put the batteries in right? Alright, hang on a second. Alrighty guys, so I have reloaded the batteries, and this time they do feel a little bit tighter in there, so maybe, just maybe it's gonna work. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. So let's go down here and get down here so we can get the full effect when this thing goes off and all its, early 80s glorious play feature fun. I'm gonna hit that button in 3, 2, 1. Well, holy shit. Well, the motor mechanism doesn't seem to work, but that old light bulb still does. So, I don't know. There's hope. There's hope there, right? I can maybe restore this thing with a little bit of TLC. So that's kind of encouraging. I'll hit that button one more time. I can't believe that old light bulb still works, honestly. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. But nevertheless, yeah, the motor mechanism, the chin guns, as you recall, if you would have had this piece, or if you still have this piece, the chin gun goes back and forth, both chin guns, which is a really, really fantastic play feature. One that, really hasn't been replicated in modern Hasbro AT-AT walkers to date. So, yeah. Well, anyway, so that's sort of disappointing, but in a way, I'm kind of relieved it still kind of works. So it's not completely outside of the realm of restoration. But, yeah, so there it is. My 1983 Kenner AT-AT walker, still in really pretty good condition, honestly. I mean, there's really not a lot of yellowing on the body here. I think it could benefit from a new repro label right here, reproduction label right here. But other than that, still in really, really fantastic shape. Love it. Alrighty, coming in at number 4 on my list of top 5 items that I still have in my collection that I'm most nostalgic for. And it's actually something that I still use, honestly, on at least a weekly basis. And that is my original NES Nintendo Entertainment System that I got for Christmas back in 1987. This sucker still works fantastic, even though the spring mechanism on the inside that holds the game in place has been broken, honestly, for the last 30 years, so I still have to jam another game on top of it. I think that was kind of common. I'm not exactly positive on that. Again, like I said back in my one-up Pac-Man arcade machine video, this is not a gaming channel. I'm not an expert on retro gaming outside of what I know from my childhood, but nevertheless, I don't know if that was common or not, but nevertheless, that's still a little quirk in my system here. But outside of that, the damn thing still works absolutely fantastic, which I have it hooked up on this old TV that I bought at a thrift store, because honestly, the old Nintendo games do not work well on modern flat screens. You got to get a tube television for them to work best, otherwise they get stretched out and they look like shit. But they look absolutely fantastic on an old small tube television like this one here. It's actually a SpongeBob one, so I actually hit 2 birds with 1 stone, because that's pretty damn awesome. I don't actually think this TV's all that old, but yeah, nevertheless, maybe it's 15 years old or so. But yeah, totally freaking awesome. Alrighty, and to go along with my Nintendo Entertainment Center, I still have all my original games from it, and this is a awesome collection. A couple months ago I was weighing whether or not I wanted to buy the new plug-and-play classic Nintendo that just came out with, the 30 pre-installed games. It's a nice plug-and-play, and it enables you to, play on a flat screen, which would be really kind of cool. But you know what, I just couldn't validate it, even at that low $60 price point, because look at all these cool games I already got from my original original Nintendo. And you know what? It's just kind of cool to actually be able to play the original versus, going out and buying what amounts to almost a reproduction, in my opinion, even though it is a officially licensed Nintendo product. So I just love having all these cool games. And you know what? If there is something that I'm missing, that might be on that plug and play classic Nintendo, I can just go on eBay and probably get it for under $10 in most cases, because that is one nice thing about the NES games, is that they haven't matured well, outside of a few ones that are obviously really high in value, but most of them, most of the mainstream games that I would be interested in buying, like Rygar or something in that ilk, Akari Warriors. There's a couple games that I don't own that I would kind of like to back collect. Those are still, really, really reasonable, at the flea market or on eBay. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Do love my original Nintendo Entertainment Center and all my bitchin' games. Alrighty, coming in at number 3 on my top 5 list of most nostalgic items I still happen to own is my Kenner Superpowers Superman that I got back in 1984. My mom picked this up for me one day when we were out running errands at a Skaggs drugstore. Anyone remember Skaggs? Kind of sounds like a venereal disease, doesn't it? Oh shit, baby! You gave me a bad case of the Skaggs! Now seriously, I don't anyone remember Skaggs, but I do, because that's where I got this guy at. And whoops, shit. And he is absolutely awesome. You know what? He's got a lot of playware on him, but I mean that is a badge of love from your original childhood, when when you buy something off eBay or something that has playware on it, you're looking at someone else's memories. It's oh so special when you still have your own. And the playware on it are badges of your childhood and badges of your absolute love for this particular item. And you can see all of my badges all over this thing, including the back cape, which is the original cape. The S is almost entirely gone from it. It was so crisp and clear and awesome when I first got it. And then I had the stupid idea of putting them in my mom's dish sink and having them get wet, and that yellow paint just flaked right off almost instantly. And then, of course, the years in storage and whatnot haven't been very kind to it as well. So it has not aged well in that regard, but that's okay. I wouldn't trade this for a brand spanking new one on card for the world, because this one is extra special. Of course, I have him on a little stand there because he doesn't stand very well on his own. Hell, he doesn't stand on the stand very well, but that's okay. And you know what? If you remember these superpower pieces, they had this really charming play feature where you squeeze the legs. Actually, probably have to take him off there. You squeeze the legs and he does the punching motion. I mean, maybe it's like he's punching or jogging, one of the two. But nevertheless, really, really cool. Absolutely love this piece. Alrighty, and coming in at number two on my top 5 list of most nostalgic pieces that I still happen to own from my own childhood is my Generation 1 Grimlock, purchased back in 1986 from KB Toy Stores in the Foothills Fashion Mall in Fort Collins, Colorado. That's right, my mom got this piece for me after many, many days of me begging her to get it for me because I saw it, and at the time I really wasn't into Transformers. But you know what? As I've mentioned probably in other videos, when I first saw this guy sitting on the shelf in his package, my frickin' head exploded because it was a dinosaur that was a frickin' robot. My two very favorite things in the whole world, dinosaurs and robots, all wrapped up into one, and this piece is absolutely fantastic. I believe back in the day we got him for like $16.99, which is a lot of money back in 1986. But after many days of nagging, my mom finally gave in and picked him up for me, and it just kind of opened up the well as far as my interest in Transformers, because later on that summer, of course, Transformers the movie came out, and my love for the Transformers was sealed. So I absolutely love this piece for being the gateway drug into the Transformers for me. Even though I did have a few Transformers prior to him, I believe I had Starscream and Bombshell, and I think Windcharger before I got him, but I really wasn't that into the Transformers until I saw this awesome figure sitting in KB Toy Stores. Alrighty, and coming in at number one with a bullet, is the original Kenner Luke Skywalker 3 3/4 inch figure from 1978. Of course, this particular figure was, I believe, probably pressed off in 1983 because he actually came on Return of the Jedi card back. He was a figure that I really had wanted to back collect as a kid. I never had him when I was really little, and as I had gotten a little older and I was really into Star Wars right after Return of the Jedi had come out, he was the one that I had wanted to get to kind of complete my Luke Skywalker collection. And he was kind of hard to find in 1983, as you could imagine, because Return of the Jedi just came out, and all those figures were flooding the stores. And of course, the old Empire Strikes Back collection and Star Wars collection figures were getting harder and harder to find at that time. And my mom did find him for me in a drugstore way back in Iowa when she was out visiting relatives. And I can't tell you how awesome it was when she came home that night, unpacked her suitcase, and pulled this beautiful action figure out of the suitcase for me on that fresh, crisp Return of the Jedi card back. It was an absolutely amazing night, and one that I remember very fondly for obvious reasons. Couple more things of note with this particular figure. This, of course, was probably my very favorite vintage Star Wars figure that I owned in my collection, and there's a lot of playwear on him, as you could probably see here. In fact, there's some red paint in and around his eyes that I'd kind of put on him, like it was kind of like blood for scars from when he'd been, knocked around by Darth Vader, or knocked around by the goons in the Mos Eisley Cantina, or the Wampa in The Empire Strikes Back. Because even as a kid, I recognized that Luke went through a hero's journey, and that he went through a lot of trials. And I related to the fact that in the 3 films, Luke Skywalker got his ass kicked more times than he ever kicked anyone's ass. Because that was something that was kind of reflective in my own life. Now, I mean, I'm not saying I was like bullied as a kid, but you know what? I got my fair share of scraps, and I came out on the losing end, I will say, more times than not. Not to say I never won a fight in my life, but I lost many as well. So I kind of related to that with Luke Skywalker. That's part of the reason why even today he is one of my very favorite fictional characters. A couple more things of note on this figure. He, of course, as you know, the original 1978 Luke Skywalker, as well as the Obi-Wan Kenobi Ben figure and the Darth Vader, came with a telescoping lightsaber feature. Even as a kid, I thought that was a piece of shit. I probably tossed that telescoping lightsaber. As a collector, I grimace at that, but I probably tossed that telescoping lightsaber within 5 minutes of getting him out of the package. Why? Because I had a much better alternative, and that, of course, is a toothpick. A simple blue toothpick. How good that was. I mean, even as a kid, I knew, hey, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is A, not yellow, it's blue, and B, it's not that short, it's much longer, and this is much better to scale with the action figure. Doesn't that look great? Also, of note, one of the big reasons I wanted to get this figure was the playability feature of having that intact lightsaber, as opposed to the later Lukes that just held the lightsaber, like the Bespin Luke Skywalker here. It was very difficult for Luke Skywalker to duel with Darth Vader while holding this lightsaber because it just fell right out of his hands so easily. Piece of shit. But this one, with the lightsaber already intact, of course you can see I replaced Darth Vader's telescoping lightsaber with a red lightsaber. Actually, it looks really good. So it was much easier for them to duel without anyone dropping their lightsaber prematurely. So that's one reason, another big reason that I wanted this particular figure as an 8-9-year-old kid. So anyway, awesome. Love my original 1978 Luke Skywalker. Alrighty guys, well that's going to wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk down memory lane with me as I revealed my top 5 favorite nostalgic pieces that I still have in my collection, all from my childhood. And I really enjoyed showing them off to you guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was kind of fun one to make. Anyway. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. Please like, comment, share, and please do subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. We'd love to have you here on the Plastic Planet each and every week. We've had a deluge of new subscribers, and I want to thank all my old subscribers, my super subscribers. You know who you are, and of course, welcome to all my brand new subscribers as well. Welcome, guys. All right, guys. Well, like I said, that's gonna wrap up this edition of the Plastic Planet. Until next time, guys. Hey, life is short, so get out there, guys. Get out there and fill it with some plastic crap. All right, guys. Love you. Until next time. Later.